All right, we're back and we have got a beast of an automation today to have a look at, built on two make.com scenarios. And I just want to walk through what exactly the system does. First and foremost, everything that we build, we want to make sure it's solving some sort of a problem, like it's helping a business grow in some way. That's the point of automation, at least what we do here on this channel. And so the idea with this is it's an ads generator. This is more targeted towards SMBs. So primarily companies that can't really afford a whole media team to come out and do a whole photo shoot for their ads. And specifically in this case, we've built it for service-based businesses. And so the idea with this is if you do have a product-based business, you can see how this can apply for a product-based business. And yeah, if you're interested in seeing how a system like this can be built for a product-based business, please do let me know in the comments. But for today, we're having a look at a service-based business because that's what we are here at Funnel Flow as well. That's the agency that I run. It's a service-based, B2B service-based business, and so this was scratching a niche for ourselves, and I'd love to just show you how it works. So I just want to take us through a quick presentation. It's 5 slides, very quick. It's actually 4 slides, but just having a look at what exactly this the problem is that we're trying to solve here with this automation. And the idea is we're having a look at why typical ad creation is broken, because it is expensive, it's slow, and it's inconsistent. And so typically ads are made by figuring out the offer, brainstorming ideas, writing the initial script, creating multiple variations, planning the scenes or the storyboard. And then you have to find and hire creator, videographers, or just a whole media team. You have to schedule the shoots, you have to organize all the raw footage. Then you have to pay for professional editing as well if your original team that came and did the shoot isn't going to be doing that for you as well, or you have to do the editing yourself. You have to figure out the combination of the clips to see what the variations are that you can come up with. And the thing is, this makes it super slow and frustrating, super time heavy for no real reason, especially if you consider what is possible, which I'm hoping to show you today. It makes it super expensive, and that makes it tough to test different ad variations. And the thing with ads is you want to be testing a bunch of different ad angles, and so it's going to be very expensive to test at this level. Also making it hard to scale consistently. And the big thing here is it's inaccessible for smaller businesses. So if you're a big company with a massive marketing budget and you've got a bunch of people on your staff team, and like then that's cool. Maybe you can afford a media team to come out in like 3, 4, 5 weeks of your company to do all the media and test ads and stuff. That's great. But for the average business owner that doesn't have that much capital on hand or that big a team on hand, we need another approach, right? And so that's what today is about. Now, a big point here is it's iteration, not perfection, especially when it comes to ads. You're not gonna like, it doesn't help you spending 2 weeks trying to like come up with the perfect ad, putting that out, because you're not gonna know. The way that you test ads is through iteration. You test this hook, you test that CTA, you test this body, you add different combinations, and you see based on market data what is performing better, all right? And that becomes very difficult when creating ads is expensive, time consuming, and super slow. And so here are your options really when it comes to generating ads. Now I've got these nice little robot sticky lights for us, red, yellow, and green, just to kind of organize our thoughts a little bit. But as I said, traditional ad creation, you're looking at quite a big budget for just making a single ad. You need paid actors, filming crew, editors, and it's really slow to test new ideas. It can take 1 to 3 weeks to finish, and that's when it's quick. But that being said, the pros of this is it does end up really high quality. That being said, you do need to work with an agency or a service provider that's going to make sure that the ads that are being generated are high quality. And human actors do feel more natural. Like we're not at a point yet in the business space where everyone's used to seeing AI ads all over the place. So seeing an AI ad could both be a very good thing, catching the viewer's attention, but it can also be very off-putting if people just aren't used to that yet. And so the quality is something to be aware of, and that's not something worth avoiding. So yeah. And then the second option that you have, which is a step closer to just the more budget friendly, is just using AI tools manually. So using VEO3, for example, sitting on it yourself, doing all the prompts, getting a video back, seeing how you want to tweak it, putting it back, coming up with a script, using ChatGPT to generate a script, all of that. Now that's great. It's much cheaper, as I said, and you don't need to worry about filming. But this keeps it quite hard to keep everything organized. Your files are in this platform and in that platform, and you're switching between all these different tools. And so it does become a little bit all over the place and chaotic. And it's still a lot of manual work, right? And so what I'm trying to show today is the value of this automated ad generation workflow that we've built out, where the automation itself takes care of creating all of that assets for you. It's so much more affordable for SMBs and reliable for SMBs. And this makes it super easy to scale lots of different variations for your ads. And everything just ends up stored and organized in one central place. Now, this does mean that there's a lot less control than with a film crew. Like, you don't get to sit with an actual human being and saying like, oh, okay, this is exactly how I want it. I've seen this ad. Like, can you make something like that? You don't get that personalization on this to that extent, but you'll be surprised once you see the system live in action how much personalization you do actually get on this. And then obviously quality depends on input. So if you try and use the system with just kind of a crappy input, then it is going to give you a crappy result. There's this thing called garbage in, garbage out. If you give it garbage, it's going to give you garbage back. So the quality really does depend on inputs. It's not going to go do all the heavy lifting for you. And so that's kind of just the outline. I want to just walk us through this very, very quickly. This is just a Figma chart that I've got open over here of just generally how the system works. Because if I were to sit here and try and explain every single node on this make.com automation, it's going to confuse all of us. So let's just have a look at a workflow to see how this all works. So you'll see everything kind of is built off of these few stages right over here. And you'll see that these in a moment, when we open up the actual system, actually correspond exactly with these. And this is the interface to use the system. It's a nice little Notion database where you get your different stages of the ads generation. You can think of it like a content pipeline. So stage one, you're generating the ads, reviewing the ads, you're processing the ads, and so on. So it's just stages of the journey of generating these ads. Very simple to use. It allows you to just drag and drop, and everything is right here. And so everything runs off of that. And so just on Figma here, we've got those different stages mapped out. So the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to be submitting a form for a new ad, to request a new ad to be generated. That's going to create folders in OneDrive. So I've just got this set up on OneDrive, but obviously if your company is using, Google, for example, Google Drive, you can just integrate it with Google Drive, same thing. But it's going to go and create the folders to save everything afterwards. And then we are going to send that request from the form into an LLM, an AI model that is going to go and generate a strategy for these ads. So it's going to take your input and actually chew on it a little bit and think about, okay, how can we come up with these ads? It'll send requests to 3 different large language models to actually generate the hooks, to generate different positionings for the bodies, and to generate the CTAs that will be used in the ad. So different variations. So if you selected, okay, cool, I want 3 different hooks, that's the LLM right here that's going to be taking care of that. And you'll see that in our make.com in a moment. And then for the body, what's really interesting here is we don't want every single body variation to kind of have the same feeling. So what we're doing first is having an AI come up with different positionings for the body. And then for each of those different positionings, it'll go and write the script for the body. And so that's what's happening here. We're then just saving all of that in what's called JSON. So it's just kind of a type of formatting that AI can read quite well. So we're just saving that as JSON for later on when we actually want to generate the ads. And then we're adding that all into a Notion page so that the viewer or the user of the system can have a look at everything and it can all make sense. And then the last bit of steps that we're doing is we are having AI generate some character and background prompts for us, because the system is going to allow us to input a description of the character that we want in our ad and the description of their scene, like what's their background, are they in an office, are they on the beach, like what's going on here. The system will allow us to generate that. We're going to go ahead and then generate those images, and then you'll see that there's a dotted line here. Reason there is because this is all part of the very first system over here, and then this second half is part of the second system over here. So there is a kind of a jump between the 2 scenarios, but they are still linked, and I'll show you how that works. But then what ends up happening is we get the generated image, we upload it to a platform just so that we can actually see the image, and then we save it all to Notion, which will automatically update the stage into the review. Now, once it's in review, you'll see that it has actually skipped 2 stages. So it's gone from new request straight into review. And the 2 stages that it skipped is for the user to decide, okay, cool, do I want it to go and modify the background? Do I not like, maybe there's a bookshelf in the background of the image that'll be used for the ads that I don't like, and I want to get rid of that. So as a user using the system, you can go and ask the system to change either the look of the character or you can ask it to change the look of the background and then just drag it back over into those stages. And you'll see what happens is the system gets the change request. It uses the image that you're referencing, you're asking it to change, plus your request to change it to edit the image, and it will save that request ID. And again, you see this dotted line where we're jumping between the two scenarios. We're getting that edited image, we're uploading it to a hosting platform, and we're saving it to Notion, updating the stage back into review. So if you think about it like this, you'll get in your request. After everything, you'll get a review. If you want to make a change to the background, for example, you drag it back over into modify background, and a couple of seconds later, it'll pop back into review with the new image. So that's kind of how that works. Now, once you've had a look at everything, you're happy with the character image, the background image, you've read through the script, you can see what's about to happen, you can then go ahead and generate the ads. So you'll drag it over into generate ads. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time here because I do want to show you the system and I don't want to make this video too long. But the idea is it's going to go get those scripts that we saved earlier on. We're going to get a character description and a background description so that we can accurately reference the images that we generated. We are going to generate a prompt for the video. So each section, so you can think of the ad as in three parts: the body, the hook, the body, and then the CTA, right? And so we want a prompt that will be used for generating the hooks, a prompt that will be used for generating the bodies, and a prompt that will be used for generating the CTAs. And so we're going to generate those three prompts, and then for each, we're going to send through the actual words that need to be spoken from our script inside of that section of the ad. And now the way that video generation models work is it only generates up to about 8 seconds worth of footage, and our script is going to be a lot longer than 8 seconds, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to send our script through to an AI that is going to have a look where to cut the script in places that are natural, that will fit within those 8 seconds, and then we'll make multiple requests to generate the individual clips, so that all the team has to do is they end up with the clips, they dump it into some sort of video editing platform like CapCut, and then just stitch them together, and then done. So there's that manual step, the human step still required. And obviously you can deep dive into the system and use an API endpoint to request the original clip to be lengthened. But for the sake of simplicity and not overcomplicating the system unnecessarily, we've kept it as just, it's going to generate all the footage you need, and then you can mix and match in the way that you want it to. So once it's done that, it's going to go ahead and update the stage into processing. So you'll see that there's a processing stage. So you would have dragged it from review into generate ads. It's going to get all the media prepped. And then once it's all prepped, before it started actually processing to generate the ads, which is going to take a few minutes, it'll drag it into processing just so that you're aware of like, okay, cool, we're ready. I've sent the requests through. And now once it's dragged it over into processing, so now you can see that there's another dotted line. And the reason this is because, again, we're going from our one scenario to the next one. We made all of our video generation requests. It's going to take some time for videos to get generated. It's not just going to take 2 seconds. And so what we're going to do is we are essentially going to set up a system to wait and capture all of the footage the moment it's ready, and just start uploading it into our folders that we created in the very beginning. So that's kind of the overview of the system. And then once we've got the final video, we will update the stage into complete automatically. So the system will go, once you've had it in review, you'll drag it over into generate ads, it'll pop it into processing, and then once it's done, it'll go into complete. You can have a look at your folder and everything will be done just like that. And so I know that this was a lot, but I wanted to just give you an overview because this is a complex system. We're doing a lot in make.com using a bunch of JSON and arrays and parsing that and iterating through the arrays, and all of that's boring, and that doesn't really matter if you just want to use the system and generate ads and see the result. And so let's get to that. Let's get to the exciting part. Let's run the system and we'll see what happens. And so the first thing that we actually want to do is we'll see in our pipeline, we've got no current ads being generated, and we've got this little form set up. So I'll jump over into that, and you can see that there's this form that we're going to be filling in. Now, I've already got some responses to save us on the time that it's going to take for me to type everything in, but we're going to generate some ads for what's called an automation blueprint, which is something that we do here at Funnelflow, automation blueprint. And you are welcome to pause the video and just kind of read through it. But in this case, the system is asking us to include details about the offer, promotions, ICP, pain points, dream outcome. So as we said, garbage in, garbage out. So let's not give it garbage. Let's give it some stuff to work with. So I've just got this little paragraph written out. You can go into a ton of detail here. There's no limit here. You can write out a whole document and just like copy and paste it in here. The more detail you give it, the more accurate it's going to give you a result on what you're looking for, right? So you can go ahead and pause this if you want to read through what the offer is. But long story short, it's for marketing agencies in this case, and we are running a blueprint to give them clarity on how AI can actually help them grow their company. And more so just open up capacity. Specifically marketing agencies with 5 to 20 people, yeah, so on. So I've just explained kind of what we need ads for. And then each ad is going to kind of want a different CTA, right? Like you might want leads to give you a call on the phone, whereas we want leads to book in calls to our calendar. And so what type of CTA do we want? We want leads to book a call. And then please describe in detail the character for your ad. So this is where, okay, in our ads, we're gonna have a character and a background. And so let's go with a character of, I've got this description written out for a young blonde male wearing blue jeans and a black hoodie that has the company name Funnel Flow printed in clean white font on the pocket of the hoodie. And so not really looking for a result that's too accurate like myself, young blonde male, but we'll see what it comes up with. We're just giving it a little description. And again, you can get very detailed with this prompt to try and refine exactly what your character is going to look like. But for the sake of simplicity, it's not necessary, especially because the system already has image modification built in. And then for the scene, we're going to go with a cozy office with a nice bit of natural lighting from a window, subtle blue neon lights in the background, a bookshelf, 1 or 2 plants in the background to add elements of green, and an oak wood desk with a black office chair and a MacBook on the desk. So that's the description I've got written out over there. And then it gives us some options. So this is where we think about, okay, cool, ads want different variations. We want to test, we want to split test different things. This hook with this body and this CTA. And so the system has that built in. So let's say we would just want to generate 3 hooks. We'll do, let's do 2 different body sections this time, and we'll do 3 different CTAs as well. We'll do a smaller run just for the sake of time because it does take some time. And then you can choose what orientation do you want your ad. So we'll go with landscape for now, but everything is built in and it'll modify your request accordingly. But there we go. So what we can do is once we hit submit, we can jump over into our ads automation and just give it a refresh. And then once it loads, you'll see that we have in our board got a new request that'll show up in a moment. There we go, automation blueprint. We can go ahead and open that up and we can see that right now it's empty, but we do have a folder attached already, which tells me our automation is already running. We can see that it is in the background. And so far, what it's done is it's gone ahead and created all of those folders that we said it was gonna create. And it's already gone and done some positioning for us on our ads. It's generated our hooks, it's generated our body sections, and it's generated our CTAs. And right now what it's doing is it's adding all of that into Notion. So if we open up Notion again, we can actually see that it's busy writing out our sections. So we've already got our hooks written out, and it's busy writing out our sections. So we've got body 2 in the process of being written out right now. Let's just close these up. There we go. So body 2 is busy being written out. We've got our couple of lines coming through. And then once that is done, we'll see everything pop up. And then one part of the system that I didn't actually explain in the initial explanation of how everything works is we've got an AI model sitting that will go and read through all of the scripts that have just been generated, and it'll actually go and decide what's going to be the best combination. So let's pull open our Notion again, and we can see that our CTAs have also been generated right now. And then we've got a recommended combination already. So we can see that the system has recommended hook 3 with body 1 and CTA 2. And the reason being that hook 3 promises a clear AI growth map, which aligns perfectly with body 1's detailed data-backed roadmap, and CTA 2 reinforces the clarity and result focus. So we won't read through everything, but let's just have a look. Hook 3, imagine a clear map showing exactly where AI will boost your agency's growth, no guesswork. Body 1 right here will have, it did say body 1? Yes, body 1. You can go ahead and pause the video if you do want to read through that script right there. I'm not going to take the time now. And then CTA 2 right over there. Hook 3, CTA 2 reinforces clarity and result focus. Schedule a call now to discover where AI can save you time and boost revenue. no guesswork, just results. So really cool. It's written out all of our different variations for the ad in a way that's super easy to just play around and look at, giving us a recommendation. And then we can also see that it's attached two images for us in the system. And so the first one is going to be the background image. So let's have a look. We wanted a cozy office with a bookshelf, some blue neon lighting, MacBook on the table, wooden oak desk, some plants in the background, and a black office chair. So, I mean, that's pretty spot on, right? I quite like that. Let's have a look at the character image. We've got a young blonde male wearing a funnel flow hoodie, blue jeans. Yeah, pretty spot on. Doesn't quite look like me, and that's okay. But you get the general idea. So you can just go ahead and generate your character and your image. So let's say we wanted to make a modification. Let's see that part of the system. So right now, we can see that the request has been moved over from new request into review. All right. Let's say we want to make a modification. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to change the background image and say we want a nice little plant on the desk. So we can see that there's an empty field right here for us to fill in. We can say, can you add a nice little succulent on the desk in the corner. So we can just type in a request, and then we can either select the stage from here and put it into modify background because that's what we're changing, or we can go ahead and once we've filled that out over there, we can then just drag it right over into modify background. And we'll see what happens in the background of our system. If we just exit back out, it's busy running. And on this request, what it's busy doing is it is going and creating that image request, and everything's being pulled back right over here. So we'll give it a second to just finish running. And what you'll see, what's happening is we've got it set up on a platform called Key AI, which I'll have a look at in a moment. But the moment the image is done generating, it's catching that, storing it, and then uploading it into Notion. So let's open up our Notion and see what's going on. We can see that we've got a background image that's been updated. If we open it up, there's a nice little succulent right on that desk. So you can start to make modifications to your images as you see fit. Let's give one more example of our character. Let's add some neat stubble on the guy's face. Can you add some neat stubble on his face, on this guy's face? There we go. Let's drag it back over into modify character. And same thing is going to happen in our system. We'll see that it's busy running. It's going to go and modify that character, and then in a moment it'll catch it. And if we open up our file, we'll see it moves from modify character back over into review once it's done, and we'll see our character image updates in a moment. So let's see what happens. Just give it one more second. There we go, review. We can see we've got a new character image. If we open that up, added some nice little stubble to the guy's face. And so you can start to play around with your images. This is a really powerful system. So this is what I was talking about. You might not get the extent of the personalization with sitting with a creative agency that's going to work with you for your ads, but you can really start to play around with the system to see what's going to work for you. And so that's great. Let's see what it looks like to now generate these ads. We've got our hook variations. We've got our character for the ads. We've got our background image where the character is going to be sitting. And so from here, all we have to do is drag over from review into generate ads. And let's see what happens over here. We'll open up the system. You can see that it's already running. Down here at the bottom, what it's doing is it is getting some image descriptions for the characters. It's building out that prompt, and then it's going and requesting all of the hooks to be generated. Right now, it is chunking up the script to make sure that the script lines will fit inside of the videos. And then it is generating the CTAs for us. And so what we can see is if I open up my folder and we jump into the ads generator, there is an automation blueprint for the current date. Today is the 21st. So we can see that has now opened up, and we've got body variations, CTA variations, and hook variations. So let's see what happens if we just leave this open right here. We can quickly pull open Notion and see that it's moved it from generate ads into processing. And in a moment, if we jump into our Key AI callback URL, once the videos finish generating, it will go and upload those into our folders. So we'll give it one more second and just wait for it to start triggering in the background, and we'll see when it starts to give us our footage back. There we go. So you can see that it's actually getting a few of those videos back, and it started to upload those videos for us. So let's have a look. There you go. Hook 2 is coming in. Hook 1 has come in. Let's go medium icons and you can see them pop up. Okay, so we've got our 3 hooks right there already. You can see the guy in the office. Let's jump over into our body variations and see what's happening. There we go. We've got our clips coming in for that. And let's see our CTA variations. Those will pop up in a moment as well. Let's make them large icons. There we go. CTA 1 is coming through. CTA 3 has come through. And we'll give it a second for CTA 2 to come through. Let's just go have a look at the footage now, actually, while that happens. So we can see with the simple request, there we go, complete has now come through. And the ad that we've requested has moved from new request into review. We've done some modifications. We dragged it over into generate. It's updated us with the processing state. And then once it was done, dragged it over into complete. We're now left with a folder that has all of our clips ready for us to play around with. We asked for 3 hooks. It gave us 3 hooks. We asked for, we'll have a look at the bodies now. We asked for 3 CTAs. We've got our 3 CTAs right there. And then if we have a look at our bodies, we've got a bunch of different clips. Now, if you have a look at the title of these clips, you can see that we've got body 1 all the way up until clip 8. And so these are all actually body 1 folders. So let's just chuck those into a folder. So we'll go body 1, we'll drag all of these. So body 1 all the way up until clip 8, go body 1, and then these are all body 2. So you can see what it's gone and done is it's looked at the script and made sure that for each 8-second clip, a section of that script will fit into that clip. And then all we do is just tie it together. And so what we end up with is these 2 bodies with the different clips that we can go ahead and play around with. And so let's have a look at what these actually ended up looking like. So if we jump into our Notion, let's see what our recommendation was for the ads. The system recommended hook 3 with body 1 and CTA 2. So let's have a look at hook number 3.
Imagine a clear map showing exactly where AI will boost your agency's growth. No guesswork.
All right, there we go. That was hook number 3. Let's have a look at body number 2. So let's just have a look at one of the clips, for example.
Our AI automation blueprint audit dives deep to uncover exactly where automation can melt away those painful pinch points.
All right, and then let's have a look at one of the CTAs. Let's look at CTA number 2.
Schedule a call now to discover where AI can save you time and boost revenue. No guesswork, just results.
And there you go. That's the system. Just like that, we filled in a form, we automated some image generation and made sure it looks exactly the way that we wanted to, and then use that to generate ads using those reference images with VEO 3.1 and Nano Banana to generate the images. Really powerful system. You can see that it is AI generated content. And so by no means am I saying that this should replace all media agencies. I think that this is specifically very impactful and very high leverage for SMBs that can't afford the massive media team to come and do ads for them and to generate high quality ads at scale. This is where that system thrives. And so look, undeniably, there are limitations to things like this. It's still AI generated content. You're not going to get the quality of an actual media agency. But what we are seeing is this technology evolving rapidly. And so you are going to get better and better results. And depending on how you prompt the system, I've used some pretty generic prompts. So I'm sure that the quality of this can be increased even further with some better prompting techniques as well. But for today, we're going to leave it there. The point of this was to open your eyes, to show you what's possible with automation and how much easier your life can be when generating ads for your company using automation. And so if you do want to know exactly step by step how this works, I'm happy to take any calls. You'll see my link in the description to book a call with me directly. If you are a company, feel free to book a call with me and we can have a chat about how you want to use something like this or any sort of other automation inside of your company to help you grow your capacity and your ability to scale. Other than that, though, that'll be me for today. I hope you found this super helpful, and it would mean the world to me if you were to subscribe and share this video, follow along for the journey as I keep showing you how to grow your business with automation and the actual applications of how automation can help.